Happy morning to one and all present here. And we are here for the celebrations of International Women's Day 2021, ECNAM, third edition of Apollo Tyres Foundation, in partnership with French Institute of India and CSR Box. She believed she could, so she did. A happy Women's Day to all of you. Yes, here we go for the first session of the day. Welcome note by Sunam Sarkar, Chief Business Officer and President Apollo Tyres Limited. Sir, waiting for your welcome note for this wonderful crowd virtually gathered to celebrate the occasion. Over to you, sir.
Hello, welcome to the celebration of International Women's Day. You might be aware that the first International Women's Day was officially celebrated in Germany in 1914. However, in various forms it has actually been celebrated from way back in 1909 under different names. Gender equality is fundamental, and Goal 5 of the Sustainable Development Goals is dedicated to this. The Indian government too has aligned its national agenda with initiatives such as Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, or the One Stop Center scheme with the Sustainable Development Goals. Women's labor force participation has actually been declining. About 1/5 of adult women are in a job in India. There has been a decline due to lesser formal jobs available for women. Unfortunately, this situation has been exacerbated due to the COVID situation, where many women have had to drop out of work due to childcare, shutting of schools, etc. Gender equality takes center stage at Apollo. Our initiatives extend beyond the organization, and we have a flagship program operational under the banner Navya, which means new beginning for women. The program focuses on providing livelihood to rural women at their doorstep so that they become self-reliant. The program started in 2013, and since then it has expanded exponentially. We have reached out to over 15,000 women, and most importantly, we have supported the establishment of over 300 small business units, which employ thousands of women beneficiaries. The campaign Ek Naam is our effort to recognize and facilitate 8 of our beneficiaries who are pioneers in their field and have been catalysts of change. They have not only created their own identity, but have also provided recognition to their communities. Women who choose to challenge their circumstances and manage to turn around their adversities into opportunities and created Ek Naam, which means a name for themselves. It is the third year of this particular event, and we are pleased to partner once again with the French Institute of India for the second consecutive year. We are also thankful to CSR Box for their support. Our ethos is to work in collaboration and not silos, whether in this program or across our CSR programs. This year, we have 8 women beneficiaries representing 7 different states, covering Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Odisha, and Madhya Pradesh. There will be a live discussion with our beneficiaries, moderated by Ms. Richa Anirudh during this webinar. I invite you to join and enjoy. Thank you for your participation. Have a great day.
Many thanks, sir, for your warm address to this August gathering. Moving right along, we are going to hear the opening remarks from His Excellency Mr. Emmanuel Lina, Ambassador of France to India. Sir, the stage is all yours.
International Women's Day is celebrated every year around the globe, with a special focus on women empowerment. It is critical to ensure full participation of women into the workforce. It's critical for gender equality, but also for development. That's why the Embassy of France, along with the French Institute in India and the network of Alliance Française have decided to work on this topic of gender equality, not only on this special day, but all along the month of March. And tonight I'm delighted to announce that you're going to discover with this webinar in a few minutes 8 outstanding profiles of women who have brought about concrete, positive improvement in the livelihood of women in rural India. And this has been made possible by an outstanding project called ECNAM, supported by Apollo Tyres. And that's the second year that the embassy partnered with them. I'm really delighted about that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the short and crisp note. And we are also happy to be associated with French Institute of India. Now we move on to the second session of the day. A good discussion increases the dimension of everyone who takes a part. Yes, it's time for a panel discussion. We will be having with us Jyotsna, who will be moderating the session. Jyotsna is internationally certified auditor for social responsibility. She currently leads CSR inspection at Blue Sky Sustainable Business. Without any further ado, I hand over the stage to Jyotsna, who will introduce the panelists and take over the session. Over to you, Jyotsna.
Hello, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the International Women's Day Celebration 2021 being organized by the Apollo Tyre Foundation. We are celebrating the ECNAM campaign, which has been going on for the last 3 years. This is the third year, and this is a celebration of all the challenges women have chosen to challenge and break. And we are going to be sharing a lot of good stories and sharing the experiences of some of our very great panelists who are here with me today. I'd be happy to introduce our panelists. Supriya Singh comes from Tata Communications. She heads the CSR department there. She comes from an eclectic background of having worked on a lot of women issues, and coming from Tata Communication, one of the 100 best brands, globally known brands in the world. We will have her share some of her points on what she chooses to challenge and why. We are very happy to have, welcome Supriya, and we are very happy to have Vishal with us. Vishal comes from Dalmia Cements. He heads their CSR function as well as he heads the foundation. His experience has been in the cement industry, and we really look forward to him giving his view on gender equity and the issues that he has, the challenges that he has chosen to challenge in the field of women empowerment in the scope of work that he does. And finally, we have Renika. Renika comes from Apollo Foundation. Welcome, Renika. She heads the sustainability function at Apollo Tyres and has been the driving force behind ECNAM, which is in its third year now. She comes from a very eclectic background again, from, with working with special children, working with NGOs, and now heading the sustainability function of a very huge conglomerate like Apollo Tyres. So welcome to all of you, and I look forward to some very interesting discussion on the International Women's Day. Just to put it in context, ECNAM celebrates the challenges of the stereotypes which have been broken. And ECNAM is in the third year, and we will be hearing stories about very special women who have been unusual and done some great things as a part of their women empowerment. I also want to take this occasion to celebrate a lot of women, older to us, maybe from our families, from our, our friends, who have chosen to challenge a lot of stereotypes. Otherwise, most of us wouldn't be here, today, listening for me to talk like this, for people like Supriya and Vishal and Renika to tell you about their experience. We need to take a minute to give our gratitude to all our older elders who have chosen to challenge stereotypes, and that is why we are here today, talking about Eknam and celebrating womenhood. Uh, India is India is a country of anomalies. We have women make 48.4% of the population, but the illiteracy rate is still as low as 72%. While this women empowerment goes a long way back, in the sense Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Swami Vivekanand were literally the people who first started talking about empowerment. Our constitution gives us a lot of rights of equality and all that, but yet we're a country which sees 88 rapes per day. That is the level of abuse that we see. But having said that, we also have great stories as being one of the only countries which has the highest number of women pilots, the highest number of women scientists. So I think this is a journey which continues, and I think we will have many more Eknams to celebrate in the coming years, because every year we'll have to choose to break something. The theme for this year is choose to challenge. Yeah, and this panel we will discuss what our panelists have, what is their experience on what they're choosing to challenge. I would first like to ask Supriya to share with us some of her views. And what I would like to ask her is that India is a young country, and we are really breaking some patriarchal norms. Like, it might not be very conscious, but patriarchal norms are really being shattered. Maybe it's the way we are bringing up our girls and boys. But what I really want to ask Supriya is, as a person in the leadership team who gets to see the way women are in the workforce in Tata Communication, would you like to share what are the things that you're seeing being challenged in Tata Communication and in the scope of work that you do with your NGOs and other civil society organizations?
Thanks, Jyotsna, and a very heartfelt gratitude to Apollo Tyres for actually having me as part of this panel. It's really a privilege to be part of Eknam, because it really celebrates and marks the resilience of women. So to answer your question, I would like to just narrate a story. So when I was growing up, I asked my grandmom as to what does she do, and she turned around and she said, "I'm a farmer." And in my mind, it sort of created a conflict, because whenever I thought of a farmer, I thought of a man. And I think it happens with a lot of professions that and a lot of jobs that we see around ourselves. So when we think of a doctor, or when we think of a pilot, for a very long time, we could only think of men. And of course, that's, one thing that has changed in the country. Where, right from agriculture to space, we are seeing more and more women come forward and really make a mark for themselves. As far as, challenging stereotypes is concerned, there are three things I would like to talk about, which I see challenge not just in Tata Communications, but generally in society, and, the work that I do. The first one is, when we think of women and young girls, we often talk about how they are great carers and nurturers, and all the nicer and softer sort of qualities are associated with women. I think the one thing I personally would like to see challenged more is the fact that in every woman, just like in every man, both the qualities, feminine as well as masculine, both these qualities exist. So it's not just about, the nicer, flowery qualities that should be associated with women, because women can be equally, assertive. They can be, commanding, and so on and so forth. So we need to really, enable the women to embrace their feminine, which they naturally do, but also their masculine qualities, because all of us, irrespective of what gender we belong to, possess these masculine and feminine qualities. So that's the first, point I would like to make. The second one is more from the world of technology, because that's where, Tata Communications works with a lot of women on improving access to digital technology. I don't know how many people are aware of this not so exciting statistics that more than half the women in the country own phones, but interestingly, these are all hand-me-down. So if you do some research on how many women, for instance, own smartphones, how many women access internet technology, the number is quite low for women. And as you start going to women who are from, let's say, Dalit and tribal backgrounds, it's much lower. If we are talking about a new India, progressive India, then we cannot have this kind of inequality when it comes to access to digital technology or access to mobile technology, because mobile technology is no longer about just connecting to loved ones. It is about access to opportunities, and it opens a new world to everyone. So, we need to look at this statistics very carefully, because COVID has taught us that this is really going to be the future. Internet, digital is important. And if we really keep handing down second-hand phones, and if we really keep blocking access to digital technology to our young girls and women, then we would be creating a different kind of inequality, which will become very stark as we go along. And this needs to really be, addressed. The third one is a really personal one, and here I think the stereotype I would like to, bring to this panel is when we create programs for women, we go with options. It's either livelihoods, or it's education. So essentially, we go with a fixed mindset or a plan of action. How about asking them what do they want? How about creating a program that lets them do what they want to do? And I'm trying to link this to this whole right to pleasure, right to entertainment, right to just be who you want to be, rather than put in a livelihoods, which is important. I'm not saying that it's not important, but what I have realized through my work is that not many women in our societies get any time to pursue things that they are genuinely interested in. It could be art, it could be music, it could be, just about anything that brings them pleasure. So pleasure as a concept in our society is looked down upon, especially when it comes to women. And I feel that's unfair, and I feel that's something that should be looked at from a rights-based perspective. Everyone should be allowed to feel good and choose the way they want to feel good about life. So these are the three things I thought I would share with all of you, and looking forward to having a discussion.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Especially that last point that you made about choosing the way. I mean, giving them an opportunity to choose what makes them feel happy. Such a simple request, and so lost in this entire statistics. I now request Vishal. So when Rinika shared the panelists with me, I was so happy to see Vishal, because I basically, whatever I have achieved in my life, yes, I've had very strong women in my life, but we've had stronger men who have allowed strong women to survive. And so I would love that to ask Vishal, like, how does he navigate? What would he choose to navigate, to challenge? Choose to challenge in this world of gender equality and gender equity. Vishal, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jyotsna. And thank you, Apollo Type Foundation and Eknaam for having me as part of this campaign this year. I have been an attendee to the previous campaigns, And I really appreciate the way Apollo Tyres has chosen to work on the women's issue. And congratulations everyone on the International Women's Day this year. Yeah, Jyotsna, you rightly said, maybe I can give a very different perspective here. Men usually do not tend to talk about their privileges in open, but by way of having me here, in a way you have ensured that we also acknowledge the privileges that we have, and then show our solidarity with women. So thank you so much for giving me that opportunity. Of course, that was on a lighter note, but if I were to choose a challenge, given my upbringing and my work experience, and then my experience in the society, as a father, Jyotsna, I have always told my daughter to react to situations wherein she is not comfortable. And in fact, I have told this to some of my colleagues also at the workplace. I remember one instance at my workplace where one of my female colleagues felt that one of our male colleagues wasn't appropriately messaging to her on WhatsApp, and she wasn't very sure on whether to report that to HR or not. And my suggestion to her was to react, because I felt that if she would not react, then perhaps the male colleague would take it as a sort of weakness and then tend to be more bullying. This is exactly what I've told my daughter also, that she needs to learn to react to situations. And it becomes all the more important, given the biases that we have grown up with. The way I have grown up, and I'm sure many of us here on the panel and perhaps in the audience would agree, the first big bias that we grow up with is the bias of segregation of jobs at home, right? We clearly know that the sharing of jobs at home, which are not the work-related jobs, perhaps is not men's responsibility. And then we take this bias to our workplace also. Let me take two quick examples from what I have experienced in my work life. I've worked most of the time in the mining and manufacturing sector. I began working in this sector about 20 years ago. I've spent 2 decades in the sector. In my early days, I have been posted at such locations which were remote, but wherein we didn't even have the basic facilities for women to even think of coming and working. Things like the restroom for women. So those were like not even thought of. It was always thought that mining, manufacturing industry is not meant for women, and I think this is one big bias that we have taken from our upbringing to the workplace. Then let me take another example. Now, as part of our foundation, one of our focus areas is skilling youth for livelihood. Wherever we go and set up our skill training centers, most of the time the advice to us is to pick up trades, which are relevant for women. Shreya mentioned this. In livelihood, they're not allowed to pick up their choices. In fact, we tend to decide things for them. For example, people around us would really want us to pick up trades like sewing, industrial sewing, home, healthcare trades, wherein we tend to believe that these are more suitable for women. So if I were to set up, let's say, a security guards training program, or an electrician's training program, or a plumber's training program, there would be a certain kind of a feeling that we'll attract more males for these training programs. But let me tell you, with my experience, I have actually found this to be altogether different from what we tend to believe. We've always thought that when it is about migration, men are more capable of handling that challenge. In Orissa, we are training about 5,000 youth every year under our skill training program. About 75% of those are girls. And again, about 50% of those 75% are the ones who have chosen to migrate for work. So I think, we not just that we grow up with these biases, we also have this phenomena of, confirmation of those biases. We look for data, statistics, which tends to confirm our beliefs. So I think we need to really break that we have to take up the challenge to break this myth. And then, finally, what I would say is that, in fact, I read this in the World Economy Forum report. A big myth again, or a bias again that we have is that when we work for an organization which has a public stand on saying that we are an equal opportunity partner, we tend to believe that there are really equal opportunities for women in the organization to grow, right? And I've also always believed that. But I was surprised to read this report, which says that while 85% of men believe what I also do, there are 15% lesser opportunities for women to grow in a workplace, even when the organization claims to be an equal opportunity partner. So I really believe that the challenge that we need to take, both men and women, is to challenge this belief and then really create opportunities or an environment or an ecosystem where there is by way of which we create a level playing field for both men and women. So I'll stop here, but I'll end with quoting something very interesting from the same report that I mentioned. So it says that while men could be more competent leaders or tend to be more competent leaders, confident leaders, the women are definitely more competent leaders. So I'll stop for now here, Jyotsna, and then perhaps we'll come back to more questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Vishal. That was just great, and I think that the differentiation between confident and competent, it's such an important difference to have and acknowledge. And thank you so much. That was very, very interesting. Over to you, Renika. So Renika is the sustainability head of Apollo Tyres and has been actively involved in ICNAM in developing and supporting and collaborating with all the people we will mention now to make ICNAM what it is. As somebody who's been watching this program over the last 2 years, I think it's phenomenal and has all the qualities of being a program which has made a difference. It's not only about celebrating 8 women from different backgrounds, who have chosen to challenge. What I personally also love about this ICNAM program is the fact that it's extremely collaborative. And that for me is something that really underlines the fact that this is a sustainable, long-term program where people who are committed for its development are involved. So let's hear from Renika herself. Renika, let us know what is it about the ICNAM program that you have, what has inspired you the most about this program?
Before I kind of talk about the ICNAM program, it's kind of important to highlight how this program emanated from the time, because the larger purpose for us to have this program created was to accelerate women participation in labor force. So I know I've been hearing Supriya and Vishal, they very rightfully quoted a couple of things. But one thing which absolutely was one of the driving factors for us to even look at this program was to see that the women participation in labor force has been on a decline. And more specifically in the last few years when we look at specifically COVID. Because when we look at the rural sector, of course, there was this study, there was this report that I was reading, that in the last few years, it's been on a decline because there are lesser formal jobs available for women as opposed to men, and which Vishal has also highlighted in a different setup as well. And in the agricultural sector also there were lesser opportunities. But what is a really interesting fact that came out recently in one of the reports was during COVID, the women participation has fallen because women have dropped out of workforce participation because of taking care of children, their children, and they're the ones who've actually dropped out. So when we look at that, it's really very disturbing and an alarming rate. But one of the interesting facts which I read recently was that even by 10% points of increase, we can if there was a 10-point increase in women participation, we can contribute to nearly $700 billion dollars of GDP for India by 2025. So it itself is telling. The whole program that when we started, it was to provide rural livelihoods for women at their doorsteps, and that's where we started this program called Navya. And Eknam is just a lever and an outcome of that program. So that's how, when we started this program, we wanted to kind of enhance women participation in workforce. Eknam, as the word talks about, it's actually women who created livelihoods for themselves, but not only just containing to themselves, but they've actually gone beyond that, which is they've created livelihood for their communities, in all creating a name for themselves and their communities as well, and that hence the name Eknam. That's how we have been working this campaign for the last 3 years. When we look at, as I was saying, when we emanated this whole concept emanated in 2018. Of course, we have our own indicators for women participation, and there's like huge significant indicator for us in our program where we see what the women participation in workforce should be. With Eknam, we bring about, as you said, rightly said, 8 women across India, and this year we have gone beyond Apollo Tyres Foundation women beneficiaries. We've opened it to other NGOs as well to participate. And one of the really interesting facts is, Jyotsna, that I'd like to highlight is the first year when we introduced Eknam, the selection criteria for us was that women should be able to travel, because we also bring these 8 women together. And there's cross learning so that they go back into their communities and then they cascade this learning and becomes a domino effect for others to join. The first year in 2019, we had that selection criteria that they should be able to travel. And I'm so proud. In fact, all of us in Apollo Tyres Foundation have been working behind this campaign. I'm only the front face, but there's a huge team who've been working, and we are also proud because now that criteria is no longer there. That barrier is already broken. So we don't have that criteria. It's no longer features in our selection criteria. We do not have that at all as one of the criteria for us to select the women, the 8 women, the 8 candidates, or the 8 change agents. So whilst I know you asked me what are the, some specific stories. So I know in the last 3 years, we've had 24 stories, and all of them are equally really, really important. Without any doubt, I could say all of them have chosen to challenge the barriers, but there are like 1 or 2 that come to my mind, and this should not be misconstrued as being the top 2 stories or 3 stories, because all of them, I said, are equally important. One was the first one, which was Mini Joshi from Kerala. I remember that was the first story of 2019, and I vividly remember when she was chosen. She'd never stepped out of her village. She never stepped out of any of her area or where she was residing. In fact, she said that I was doing some kind of small work with my husband, just running errands here and there, but they had a really meager income. Today, she is the president of a pineapple unit. She runs that. She actually goes out to different places, tries to get orders, and she's providing livelihood to other women as well, which is again a very interesting fact. But I remember very vividly when she was there in the campaign, she traveled. She told me she'd traveled for the first time outside of her hometown, and we got her to Gujarat. That was the first time. So for them, that kind of, the exposure, the transition from what she was to now, and there will be other, stories as well in detail, which my colleagues will be sharing about what the stories of all these people, all the 24 change agents has been from the time they were chosen and to now. But that was absolutely amazing. It was absolutely, the way it's just kind of really inspiring. The other story which comes to my mind, which is a very recent one, again, it's a very stereotype where a lady from Gujarat, Hansa Ben, she is one of our 2021 Eknam beneficiary. Here she is a widow, and what happens is she kind of course, Gujarat being a patriarchal society, where women when they lose their husband, how she needs to just kind of build her life back again. She takes up a job of a guard. So where she actually, from after she loses her husband, she has a really goes through a lot of adversities in life. Then she moves out of her house in a very different attire, because obviously a guard needs to wear trousers and a shirt. So again, a lot of challenges through her around, a lot of challenges to her, for her, because of the fact the community was totally against it. So all of that, she broke the barriers. She actually moved out of her workplace, and today, not only herself, she's actually mobilized 15 other women to participate and become guards from the community and outside the community. So these are the stories when we look at, and as I said, it's no way of order in terms of what I just remember the first one and this one, but these are such amazing spaces of work, and this is like without any equivocation of what one can say that women economic empowerment is absolutely a key driver or an absolute driver for gender equality, and that's what we truly believe in Eknam, and that's why we are here, and we hope that we can continue, and we are absolutely confident that we can continue this campaign in the going years as well, because this is really essential, and we do not want to celebrate it on a one-day basis. It needs to be done regularly. So that's what I just wanted to share with yourself. Thanks.
That's lovely, Renika, and it just so underlines that thing that Vishal was also talking about, is that sometimes it has to be an unusual, like we are so brainwashed to believe that they cannot be guards, but when a woman is allowed to choose for herself, given her circumstances, she chooses something that is just so brilliant. Yeah, and I wish Hansabai more. I wish women like Hansabai become an inspiration for. So while we now we come towards the last bit of our panel discussion, and what I really wanted to ask the three panelists is to give us a message, give one message that you want to leave with the audience. We have a very important topic that we are discussing, that the things that we are choosing to challenge, and what is it that you would suggest to the young men and women in the audience? What do you think they should look at choosing to challenge? So Priya, over to you.
Yeah, a fascinating discussion. And, as I heard everyone, I was thinking what could be, sort of the last message. I think we all need to come together to create a safe space for women, and not only from some kind of violence, but a space where they can thrive emotionally, spiritually, economically, and in every possible way. Because I completely agree with Renika when she says economic empowerment is very important, but I also would like to add that the emotional and spiritual empowerment is also important for women, and especially because they often are known to suppress the emotions that they truly feel, and that in itself is a problem that we don't often talk about, but we need to, because that manifests in so many ways: health issues, problems in the society, and it takes the vitality out of women to really live the lives that they want to. So that's what I would that would be my last message.
Yeah, that's great. I think as women, we all know how many times we put up a face of great strength and all that, but internally we'd be bleeding and crying. And yeah, so it would be so lovely and so healthy to have a space where you just can be, it's okay to feel bad or okay to feel sad. I think that's so brilliant. I hope mental health and spiritual health also start becoming issues of empowerment where women are concerned. Vishal, over to you. Vishal, what would you want the young men and women in the audience to challenge?
taking a cue from what Priya and Rinika said, I think I totally agree with Rinika that while we can celebrate the success of women on a day in a year, but I think we have to work for all 365 days to create an environment and that ecosystem for women to to grow and to achieve their potential. Supriya has spoken about the spiritual and mental well-being of women, and then empowerment of women. I think it's also about the socio-political empowerment of women. I think that's the need of the and we need to create that environment for them to grow in all dimensions, which are wherein the male or the men have dominance for now. I think now is the time for us to challenge the dominance of men in the society and create a society which is more just, more equal, and gives equal opportunity to both men and women.
Rinika? Thank you, Vishal. That's great. I mean, that's so good. Rinika, over to you.
Just make it quick and short because the best part to go at the end is mostly everything's being spoken. So I don't have much to add over
Okay.
here.
Okay.
In the envelope, and because there are no barriers, that's something I totally want to kind of leave the message with for all the audience.
Okay. Thank you, Renika, and we're quite on time, and I have just about 2 minutes to sum up all the wisdom that has been shared in the last half an hour. And summing up, I think what we would like to give as a takeaway of this thing is that the resilience of women, or women have to be more than just, there is the yin and the yang in the women, according to Supriya, where currently we are only focusing on the softer part. I think the younger women going forward, the stereotype that we have to break is the fact that there is a masculinity, there is a masculine trait in women which needs to be acknowledged and allowed to thrive in a way, in a circumstance that is okay. It's good to have your male characteristics also being highlighted. Again, a very big takeaway is that instead of deciding for women what is good for them as per the statistics or as per whatever is coming in the policies, we would like there is one of the stereotypes that we should challenge is the fact that they should be allowed to choose what they want to do. This is exactly what Vishal also said, that when women were allowed to choose, the migrant population which they trained in Orissa, when they were given a choice to choose, they actually chose professions like plumbing and electricians, which was really not something that policymakers would have said that women can do. They would have preferred to set up sewing schools or nursing schools, but would not have really opened it up for electricians and plumbers, this thing. So then I really want to underline the fact that Vishal said that even in organizations which are ahead of the curve and who are saying that they're giving equal opportunities, it is good to acknowledge for both the men and the women that it is not truly an equitable society. We still do need to go a little further to see that the opportunities are actually equal to men and women. According to the statistics, Vishal said, though it might be equal in word, the women are actually at a disadvantage of about 15%. They get less less opportunities. And summing up, what Renika wanted to say was that it is alarming to see that the number of women in the workspace is going down, further complicated by the fact that COVID has seen a drastic drop of women in the workforce that actually pushes the needle back by a few years. If you really see, by the time we get out of COVID and by the time we get the women back again to the workforce, they would have lost so much of the skill set. So this is a challenge, and I think the message that Renika wants to leave behind is that not only in an organized sector, but allowing for livelihood, women empowerment in livelihood sectors in the rural and the agrarian society can help address this problem, this issue. So with this, I would like to, anything the panelists would like to say, anything? Supriya, Vishal, Renika, nothing? So I take Yeah, so thank you so much. We are coming towards the end of the session, and I thank the panelists for some great insight. And I love the fact that they have left us with some interesting issues to challenge. Yeah, we're going to be breaking a few stereotypes. I hope you people are also inspired to pick up things which are not easy to break. Choose the difficult ones. Yeah. And thank you so much. Are there any questions from the audience? We would love to take any questions for the panelists, please. So this is question time when we are looking forward to some very interesting questions. I already have one very interesting question for Vishal. Vishal, this question is for you. And the question is, how do you ensure that in your skill training training program, women participation is increasing both in conventional and unconventional areas, overcoming the stereotypes? How do you ensure that? This is from Jawahar NGO, Kottayam, Kerala.
Yeah, thank you, Jyotsna, and hi, Jawahar. Many things, Jawahar, actually, first of all, the simplest thing is that we do not set up our centers keeping in mind that we have to train one particular gender. So we usually tend to work with both men and women equally. But to encourage women to be better participant in our training skills, the simplest thing that we do is that we also have women to run our centers, right? So many of our trainers, many of our center managers, many of our community mobilizers or the counselors, they are actually women. In fact, let me share this with you that we have one center in Karnataka at Belgaum, where the entire center is run by women. So right from the center manager to the office assistant, there's no male staff that we have in that center. So the trainers in the electrician trade, which we are doing together with Schneider, the center manager, the other trainers, all of it, the community mobilizer, the counselor, all of them are women. And that gives a lot of confidence to girls who come to our center for training. So I think that these are some of the things that we usually do to encourage women to get into the conventional as well as the non-conventional skill trade.
That's such a lovely insight, Vishal, that having women to run the organizations basically will attract more women to join the training course. It just gives them a confidence level. Brilliant point to take. Thank you, Vishal. There's another question. This is directed to Renika. Renika? Is Renika there?
Hi.
Yeah. So Renika, the question is for you. So it says, so far you have felicitated 24 women in the last 3 years across the country. Going forward, what are your plans? This is from Jeev Nantan Help Foundation, India.
First of all, thank you for the question. In terms of when we're looking at EKNAM, as I mentioned, it's just a driver for us, but the larger picture for us is to have more women in livelihoods and sustainable livelihoods as well. That's the larger picture, so that there are no dropouts. EKNAM, where we've selected 24 women in the last 3 years, it only accentuates and supports that motive for us, where we can actually keep on getting more women, felicitate them, and it becomes a multiplier effect, as I was saying. For us, this is one of the innovative ideas that Apollo Tyres Foundation brought forward, but we have many such ideas or platforms where we are enhancing and pushing rural livelihoods so that that can be sustained and where women get motivated and take it forward. It's, as I said, we've selected 24 women, but it's not going to be limited to 24 women. Our larger program that we run under the Women Empowerment theme, which is Livelihood for Rural Women, we've had over 15,000 women beneficiaries so far. And for us, the main focus is to have or to provide them livelihoods and enhanced livelihoods, sustainable livelihoods at their doorsteps, which makes it more meaningful. And the most important thing is there should not be any dropouts, because after 1 or 2 years, sometimes we see that the livelihood that they had started has kind of fallen off. So that's something that we're very, very mindful of, and that's something we are concentrating on going forward. our focus is mainly for them to become self-reliant. Also, like Supriya said, creating safe spaces, because it's not just financial, it's mental, it's health provision as well. So it needs to be a more holistic approach, more so concentrating at a larger picture, which is contributing towards the SDG 5. That's what the entire program is. So the plan is, it's something that's going to go forward, but it is something which is going to enhance livelihoods going forward for us and for the women beneficiaries as well. So that's something we plan to do overall, and we are doing that.
Thank you, Renika, and I'm sure a lot of us and a lot of people who will see this video will wish you and wish Apollo Tyres Foundation a lot of strength, a lot of wind under the sails to get more and more women in this category of ECNAM, sustainable, independent, helpful women. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, no more questions due to paucity of time. And thank you so much for attending this session and asking for all the questions. Thank you very much.
Wow, a very insightful session and a nice flow from all the three panelists, and well moderated by Jyotsna. Thank you, Jyotsna, and thanks to all the panelists. I think we are very well on time. Next, the most awaited session of the day, special interactive session with Richa Anirudh, a celebrity host anchor. Let's watch the interaction between Richa and our 8 change agents from across the country, interacting with them in their local languages, Tamil, Malayalam, Gujarati, Odia, Badaga, whatnot. And here we go for the interactive session. Over to you, Richa.
Namaskar, my name is Richa Anirudh, and on behalf of Apollo Tyres Foundation, I welcome you all to this special session organized to acknowledge and felicitate 8 rural women who have not only created an identity for themselves, but also for their community by enhancing livelihood for other women. This is a part of the campaign Ek Naam, initiated by Apollo Tyres Foundation and partnered by French Institute in India and CSR Box. On International Women's Day, 8th March, all those women across the globe are recognized and felicitated who, despite having faced several challenges in life, have managed to break many glass ceilings. Today, I shall introduce you to 8 such women who have been selected for Ek Naam campaign 2021. Let's take a look at their journey. each of these 8 achievers. It's time to meet all of them and get inspired by them. But before I start my engagement with them, I request you all to participate in the quiz that will pop up on your screen towards the end of the session. Let me tell you, the winner of the quiz will receive an exciting prize. Okay, so let me welcome our first guest, our first achiever, Nirmala from Chennai. निर्मला वणक्कम।
वणक्कम।
निर्मला, आप अगरबत्तियां बनाती हैं, तो सबसे पहले तो हम समझना चाहेंगे अगरबत्ती आप कैसे बनाती हैं?
கோவில்ல இருக்கிற கழிவு பூக்களை எடுத்துட்டு வந்து 1 by 1 எடுத்து பிரிச்சு காய வைக்கிறோம். காய வச்சு அதை பொடி பண்றோம். பொடி பண்ண பிறகு மரத்தூள், ஜிகட் இது மூணும் சமமான அளவு கையிலேயே பிசைஞ்சு கையிலேயே உருட்டுறோம். கையில உருட்டி ஒரு வாரம் காய வைக்கிறோம். காய வச்சுதான் அது அதனோட இயற்கையான வாசனை திரவத்தை அதுல செலுத்தி இயற்கையான முறையில பேக்கிங் செய்யறோம். சீட் பேப்பரு, வாழைப்பட்டியில பேக்கிங் செய்யறோம். இது இந்து கோவில்ல இருந்து எடுத்தாலும் மத்த மதத்தினரும் வாங்கிக்கிறாங்க எங்ககிட்ட இருந்து.
जी, तो पर्यावरण के हिसाब से भी देखिए कितनी अच्छी पहल है कि मंदिरों के जो वेस्ट फ्लावर्स होते हैं, जो फूल होते हैं, उनसे ये लोग अगरबत्ती बनाते हैं। निर्मला, आपने ट्रेनिंग अपोलो टायर्स फाउंडेशन के जरिए ली। इस ट्रेनिंग के बाद से अगर मैं पूछूं कि आपकी जिंदगी कितनी बदल गई?
எனக்கு இந்த உலகத்தை இன்னொரு கோணத்துல பாக்கிறதுக்கு கத்து கொடுத்திருக்கிறாங்க. நான் சாதாரண இல்லத்தரசி தான். எனக்கு நிறைய கடன்களா இருந்தது. இப்போ கடன் எல்லாம் அடிச்சிட்டேன். கடன் எல்லாம் அடிச்சிட்டாலும் இப்போதைக்கு எங்க ஊர்ல இருக்கிற திடக்கழிவு மேலாண்மையை பத்தி எப்படி மெயின்டைன் பண்றத பத்தியும் சொல்லி கொடுத்திருக்கிறாங்க. சுற்றுச்சூழலை எப்படி பாதுகாக்கணும்னு பத்தியும் சொல்லி கொடுத்திருக்கிறாங்க. இப்போ எங்க குழு ரன் பண்றத எப்படி அதனுடைய வருமானத்தை பெருக்கத்தை பத்தியும் சொல்லி கொடுத்திருக்கிறாங்க. இப்போ ஒரு 6 மாசத்துக்கு முன்னாடி எங்க வீட்டுக்காரர் இறந்துட்டாரு. நான் ரொம்ப சோர்ந்து போன நேரத்துல எனக்கு குடும்பத்தை எப்படி மெயின்டைன் பண்றது பத்தியும் சொல்லி கொடுத்திருக்கிறாங்க.
क्या बात है। अपनी मेहनत से और अपने काम के दम पर निर्मला आप कर्ज मुक्त जीवन जी रही हैं। निर्मला, जो दूसरी युवा लड़कियां, महिलाएं हैं, उनको आप क्या संदेश, क्या मैसेज आज देना चाहेंगी?
இந்த சூழ்நிலை நல்லா என்ஜாய் பண்ணி வாழணும். தற்போது இருக்கிற சூழ்நிலைய தன்னம்பிக்கையோட வாழணும். இந்த பூமி தாய்க்கு உங்களால முடிஞ்ச எந்த ஒரு ஹெல்ப்பும் பண்ணலாம்.
क्या बात है। Never give up. I think that's the mantra. As I said in the beginning, every girl, every woman who faces challenges but never gives up and becomes an achiever, that's the mantra all of us should always remember. Never give up. Thank you, Nirmala.
Thank you.
Chaliye, so it's time to move on to our next achiever for this session, Mulamma Shaji from Kerala. Mulamma, welcome.
नमस्कार।
मुलम्मा, आपने टेलरिंग की ट्रेनिंग ली है और मुझे पता चला है कि आपने कोविड के दौरान बहुत काम किया आपने टेलरिंग के जरिए भी। तो कोविड से पहले और कोविड के दौरान के अपने काम के बारे में बताइए हमको।
തയ്യൽ പരിശീലനം ലഭിച്ചതിന് ശേഷം ഞാനും പരിശീലനം ലഭിച്ച 19 വനിതകളും കൂടി ചേർന്ന് ഒരു ടൈലറിംഗ് യൂണിറ്റ് ആരംഭിച്ചു. കോവിഡിന് മുമ്പ് പ്രാദേശിക വിപണിയെ എങ്ങനെ കീഴടക്കാമെന്നായിരുന്നു ഞങ്ങളുടെ ലക്ഷ്യം. വിൽപ്പന മെച്ചപ്പെടുത്തുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി പഞ്ചായത്ത്, മറ്റ് വ്യവസായ സ്ഥാപനങ്ങളുമായി സഹകരിച്ച് ഞങ്ങൾ പ്രവർത്തിച്ചു വരുന്നു. മാസ്കും PPE കിറ്റും തയ്ച്ചുകൊണ്ട് കോവിഡ് പ്രതിസന്ധിയെ ഞങ്ങൾ നേരിട്ടു. ആരോഗ്യ മേഖലയിൽ നിന്നും വ്യവസായ മേഖലയിൽ നിന്നും നിരവധി ഓർഡറുകൾ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ലഭിച്ചു. ലഭിച്ച ഓർഡറുകൾ പൂർത്തീകരിക്കുവാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഞങ്ങൾ കൂടുതൽ അധികം സമയം ജോലി ചെയ്യുകയും കൂടുതൽ വനിതകളെ ഉൾപ്പെടുത്തി ഓർഡർ പൂർത്തീകരിച്ചു കൊടുക്കുകയും ചെയ്തു. കൂടാതെ 22 കുടുംബങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണ്ടി വരുമാനം ഉണ്ടാക്കി കൊടുക്കാൻ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് സാധിച്ചു. ദീർഘവീക്ഷണത്തോടു കൂടിയുള്ള പ്രവർത്തനത്തിന്റെ ഫലമായി സാമ്പത്തികമായും സാമൂഹികമായും ഞങ്ങൾ വളരെയധികം നേട്ടം കൈവരിച്ചു. ഏകദേശം 2.5 ലക്ഷം മാസ്കുകൾ തയ്ച്ചുകൊണ്ട് 7.5 ലക്ഷം രൂപ ലാഭം കൈവരിക്കാൻ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് സാധിച്ചു. അങ്ങനെ അപ്പോളോ ടയേഴ്സ് ഫൗണ്ടേഷന്റെ സഹായത്തോടു കൂടി എന്റെ സ്വപ്നം സഫലമായി.
मुलम्मा, एक समय था जब आप कुछ भी नहीं कमा रही थी और आज आप करीब 12,500 रुपए महीना कमाती हैं। इस सफर को, इस जर्नी को आप कैसे डिस्क्राइब करेंगी, और अपने पैरों पर जब से आप खड़ी हुई हैं तो क्या बड़े बदलाव आपकी जिंदगी में आए हैं?
അപ്പോളോ ടയേഴ്സ് എനിക്ക് നല്ലൊരു അവസരമാണ് തന്നത്. യാതൊരു വരുമാനമില്ലായിരുന്ന എനിക്ക് ഭർത്താവിന്റെ തണലിലാണ് ഞാൻ ജീവിച്ചിരുന്നത്. ഈ പദ്ധതിയിൽ വന്നതിന് ശേഷം വളരെയധികം സാമ്പത്തിക ഭദ്രത കൈവരിക്കാനും കൂടാതെ കുടുംബത്തിനൊരു താങ്ങ തണലുമാകാനും എനിക്ക് സാധിച്ചു. കൂടാതെ സ്വയം വരുമാനം കണ്ടെത്തുവാനും സ്വന്തം രീതിയിൽ കുടുംബത്തെ സഹായിക്കാനും എനിക്ക് സാധിച്ചു. വളരെ സന്തോഷമുള്ള ഒരു കാര്യം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു കാർ വാങ്ങാൻ, ഇതിൽ നിന്നുള്ള ഇൻകം കൊണ്ട് എനിക്കൊരു കാർ വാങ്ങാൻ സാധിച്ചു. കൂടാതെ കുട്ടികളുടെ പഠനത്തിനും വീട്ട് ആവശ്യത്തിനും വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് എനിക്ക് സഹായിക്കാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞു. പുതു സംരംഭകരെ വാർത്തെടുക്കാനും സാധാരണ വീട്ടമ്മമാർക്ക് ഒരു പുതു സംരംഭം തുടങ്ങുന്നതിനും മാതൃകയായി.
मुलम्मा, कोविड के दौरान जैसे आपने बताया कि आपने बहुत काम किया, टेलरिंग के अपने हुनर का इस्तेमाल किया और बहुत बड़ी संख्या में पीपी किट्स और मास्क बनाए हैं, लेकिन वो एक ऐसा वक्त था जब लोगों को इकट्ठा करना कितना मुश्किल रहा होगा। महिलाओं से जिनसे आपको काम करवाना है, मास्क और पीपी किट्स बनवाने हैं, उनको कैसे मोबिलाइज किया आपने? मुश्किल था?
കോവിഡ് മാനദണ്ഡം പാലിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ഒരു ബിസിനസ് മുന്നോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുപോകാൻ വളരെ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടായിരുന്നു. 5 പേർ കൂടുതൽ ഒരേ സമയം ജോലി ചെയ്യാൻ സാധിക്കാത്തത് കൊണ്ട് ലഭിച്ച ഓർഡറുകൾ പൂർത്തീകരിക്കുവാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് വളരെയധികം ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടി. ഈ പ്രതിസന്ധി മറികടക്കാൻ വിശദമായ ഒരു മാർഗരേഖ തയ്യാറാക്കുകയും ജോലി സമയം ഷിഫ്റ്റുകളായി ക്രമീകരിക്കുകയും കൂടുതൽ സമയം വീട്ടിലിരുന്ന് ജോലി ചെയ്യാൻ അവസരമുണ്ടാക്കുകയും ഇൻസെന്റീവ് സമ്പ്രദായം ഏർപ്പെടുത്തി ഈ പ്രതിസന്ധി ഞങ്ങൾ തരണം ചെയ്തു.
So when there's a will, there's a way. ये मिसाल कायम की है मुलम्मा ने। कोविड के दौरान भी बहुत सारी महिलाओं को न सिर्फ रोजगार दिलाया, बल्कि ऐसे तरीके अपनाए जिनसे सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग या सारे नियमों का पालन भी हो जाए और पीपी किट्स और मास्क की जो जरूरत थी, जो सप्लाई करना था, वो भी पूरी हो जाए। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया मुलम्मा हमसे बात करने के लिए, एंड मेनी मेनी कंग्रेचुलेशंस। थैंक यू
मैम.
So let's welcome our third achiever for this session, Janki Amma from the Nilgiris. Janki Amma, vanakkam.
वणक्कम.
जानकी अम्मा, हम जानना चाहेंगे आपकी जो कम्युनिटी है कुरुम्बाज, और इनको मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स की जो जानकारी होती है उसके बारे में बताइए.
என்ன ஜர் ஜானகி, நான் குடும்ப கமிட்டி, நான் இப்பொழுது பெள்ளாரி ஊரு. என்ன ஊர் தாரியல் ரோடு வசதி இல்லை, சரியான மலை காடு அத்தவிடத்தனம். இங்க இப்ப ஏரியால் ஆனை கரடி ಹುಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲವೇ ಇದ್ದದು, ಪಲ ಮಿರುಗಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದ. ಅದನ್ನ ತಾಂಡಿತ್ತೆ ಎಂಗ ಕುರುಂಬ ಮದ್ದು ಮಾಡಿಂದನು. ಎಂಗ ಮದ್ದು ಮದ್ದು ಎಜ್ಜಾರಾಗಿ ಕೊಡೋಡಲ್ಲೇ ಮಕ್ಕಗೆ ಆಗಾಗ ಕೂಟಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಎನ್ನ ಅಪ್ಪ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಪ ತಾತ ಅಯ್ಯೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾಲಲ್ತ ತೋರಿಸಿದೋ, ಕಾಲಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಕ್ಕೆ ತೋರಿಸಿದೋ. ಆ ಮದ್ದನ್ನ ಎಂಗ ಕಂಡೆತ್ತಿ ಎಂಗ ಮದ್ದು ಗಿದೊಂದು ಬನ್ನನು. ಕುರುಂಬ ಮದ್ದು ಅಪ್ಪರ ಕಾಲಂದ ಗೆಲ್ಸ ಗಿದೊಂದು ಬನ್ನನು. ಕುರುಂಬ ಮದ್ದು ಎಲ್ಲಾರು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಪರವಲೆ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದು ಗೆಲ್ಸ ಗಿದೊಂದನು.
जी, नीलगिरीज के जंगलों में रहती है कुरुम्बा जो कम्युनिटी है, और मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स, उनसे हीलिंग की इनके पास बहुत ही पुराना विजडम है, नॉलेज है. जानकी अम्मा, कहीं पर ये रिटन लिटरेचर अवेलेबल है मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स के बारे में, या सिर्फ कैसे ये जानकारी एक पीढ़ी से दूसरी पीढ़ी तक पहुंच रही है?
ಎನ್ನಾಗ ಮದ್ದುಗಂದಲೇ ನಾವೊಂದು 6 ವಯಸ್ಸಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಟಿಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದಾರೆ ಸೋಲೆ. ನಾ ಆಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹಿಂಗ படிப்பு ಇಲ್ಲ, எழுத்தில்ல எங்களுக்கு. ಆಗ ಕೂಟಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಮದ್ದನ್ನ ಹೋಗಿ ತಂದು, ಇನ್ನ ಮದ್ದು ಇನ್ನ ಈ ಮರ ಇನ್ನ ಮದ್ದು. ಆಗವೇ ಅಪ್ಪ ಅವೇ ಹೋಗಿ ತಪ್ಪಳದು ಎನ್ನ ಅಯ್ಯ ಹೋಗಿ ತಂದ ಮದ್ದನತ್ತ ಹಿಂಗ ಗೀದೊಂದನು. ಇದು ನಾವು ಅದೇ ಪಳಗಿನ ಹಿಂಗ ಮಕ್ಕ ಕೂಡ ಈಗ ನಾ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟೊಂದಾನೆ. ಮಕ್ಕಗ್ ಅವ್ವೆ ಅಪ್ಪ ಎನ್ನಾಗ ಹೋಗಿ ತಂದ ಮದ್ದನತ್ತ ಈಗ ಗೀದೊಂದಾನೆ. ಅದ್ರವು ಮಕ್ಕಗ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟೊಂದಾನೆ. ನಾವೊಂದ್ 2-3 ಸಂಗಟಗೆಲ್ಲ பிரசவாகல இங்கவே நடை பப்பம் முடியாರ, ரோடு பஸ் ரோட் ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದனால ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಪ್ರಸವ ನೋಡ್ಲೇನು. ಪ್ರಸವ ನೋಡಿ ಮಕ್ಕನೆಲ್ಲ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿತ್ತಂದನು. ಹಾಗೆಲ್ಸೆಲ್ಲ ಗೀದಂದನು.
क्या बात है। जानकी अम्मा के पिता, दादा, परदादा, इन सबको ये मेडिसिनल प्लांट से जो हीलिंग करते हैं इसकी जानकारी रही है, और कहीं पर इसको लिखा नहीं गया है। ओरली एक जनरेशन से दूसरी जनरेशन तक, दूसरी पीढ़ी तक इसको पहुंचाया गया है, और जानकी अम्मा भी अभी तक उस नॉलेज का, उस विजडम का इस्तेमाल कर रही हैं। लेकिन इसके अलावा फॉरेस्ट कंजर्वेशन के लिए भी इन्होंने बहुत काम किया है। जानकी अम्मा, आपने 2000 लोगों को मोटिवेट किया, मोबिलाइज किया फॉरेस्ट कंजर्वेशन के लिए। कैसे कर पाई आप इतने सारे लोगों को इकट्ठा?
ನರ್ಸರಿ ಗೆಲ್ಸಕ್ಕಿದ್ದು ನಾನು ನರ್ಸರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮದ್ದು ಗಿಡ ಫುಲ್ಲವೇ ಸತ್ತಿಟ್ಟತ್ತು. ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನರ್ಸರಿ ಗೆಲ್ಸ ಬಂದು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ನರ್ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಿನೋನು. ನರ್ಸರಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ ನರ್ಸರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮದ್ದು ಗಿಡನ ಪೂರ ನಟ್ಟು ಇನ್ನೇನ ಮದ್ದು ಇದಾದಂದು ನರ್ಸರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ ನಾನು ಅಂದಾಡು ನಾ ಇದು ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ದ ಓಸಿ ಗಿಡಲ್ಲೇ ಎತ್ತಿಯಪ್ಪ. ಅದು ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಭಾಗ ಹೋಗಿ ಗಿಡನ ಎತ್ತಿ ಅಂದು ನರ್ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಿ ನರ್ಸರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಟ್ಟು ಗಿಡನ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಮದ್ದು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಗಿಡ ಬಂದು ಅಳಿದು ವಾಂಗ್ಲೇಂದು ಮುಯರ್ಚಿ ಮಾಡಿ ನಟ್ಟು ನಾನು. ನಡೆ ಹಿಂಗ ನಾ ಗೆಲ್ಸ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ವಿಲೇಜ್ ಪಕ್ಕ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋನೇನು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದತ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ಒಂದು 2000 ಆಳೆಲ್ಲ ನಾ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ನಾಗ ಇದೇ ಮಕ್ಕ ಕುರುಂಬ ಕಮಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ನಂಗೊಂದು ಲೀಡರ್ ಇಪ್ಪದು ಅತ್ತೆ ಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಗೆಲ್ಸ ಗಿದನ್ बनोनो.
एज इज जस्ट अ नंबर, इसकी मिसाल है जानकी अम्मा। हम देख सकते हैं इस उम्र में भी इतनी एक्टिव हैं, इतना सारा काम कर रही हैं, मेडिसिनल प्लांट से हीलिंग के विजडम को आगे बढ़ा रही हैं, और फॉरेस्ट कंजर्वेशन के लिए बहुत सारा काम कर रही हैं, और बहुत सारे अलग अलग कैंपेन्स में जो भी गांव के इनके क्षेत्र को लेकर जो पहल हो रही हैं उसमें पूरा एक लीडरशिप रोल निभा रही हैं। थैंक यू जानकी अम्मा हमसे बात करने के लिए। चलिए, अब वक्त है अपनी चौथी अचीवर का स्वागत करने का। इनका नाम है सोनिया पारगी और ये राजस्थान की रहने वाली हैं। सोनिया, नमस्कार।
नमस्कार।
सोनिया, जिस क्षेत्र से आप आती हैं, आपने बहुत काम किया है महिलाओं के लिए, बच्चों के लिए, पंचायत से जुड़ी रही हैं। मैं सबसे पहले समझना चाहूंगी कि आज भी, इस दौर में भी, आपके इलाके में महिलाओं और बच्चों से जुड़ी हुई सबसे ज्यादा सामाजिक दिक्कतें या मुद्दे अभी भी क्या क्या हैं?
बच्चों में शिक्षा और स्वास्थ्य, पोषण में कमी बहुत ज्यादा है। महिलाओं में कम उम्र में शादी हो पाना, घरेलू समाज व आर्थिक निर्णय स्वयं नहीं ले पाना गांव की यही समस्या है।
जी, आपने एक संचालिका के तौर पे काम किया, वार्ड पंच भी रही हैं आप। काफी अलग अलग तरह के आपने काम किए, काफी वाइड वैरायटी ऑफ रोल्स अगर मैं कहूँ। अब आपके फ्यूचर प्लान्स क्या हैं?
मैं सेवा मंदिर के साथ मिलकर मैं सेवा मंदिर के साथ मिलकर उन्हीं के द्वारा चलाए गए शिक्षा केंद्र के कार्यक्रमों को बच्चों की शिक्षा पर काम करूंगी। महिलाओं को उनके अधिकार, उन्हें सख्त और आत्मनिर्भर बनाने और जाति पंचायत में महिलाओं की भागीदारी को बढ़ाने के लिए पूरी कोशिश करूंगी। यह मेरे पूरे दिल से करना चाहती हूँ।
सोनिया, जैसे मैं लगातार कह रही हूँ ना कि आज हम सैल्यूट कर रहे हैं उन महिलाओं को जिनके सामने बहुत सारी दिक्कतें जरूर आई, चैलेंजेस जरूर आए, लेकिन उन्होंने उनसे हार नहीं मानी और वो आगे बढ़ती गई। आपने जो इतना सारा काम किया है, अगर मैं पूछूं कि सबसे चैलेंजिंग असाइनमेंट अभी तक का आपके लिए क्या रहा और कैसे आपने उसका मुकाबला किया, कैसे सामना किया?
क्योंकि गांव में डीलर गेहूं नहीं, हर माह में गेहूं गरीब परिवार लोगों के साथ में गेहूं नहीं दिला रहा था डीलर। तो फिर हमने सरपंच को जाके फिर बोला, तो वो इन समस्या का समाधान नहीं कर पा रहा था सरपंच। फिर हम सारे महिला और पुरुषों इकट्ठे हुए, फिर ट्रैक्टर से असवार करके फिर जाड़ो गए और हमने जाड़ो पंचायत में रिपोर्ट दर्ज करवाई और फिर हमारे का समस्या का समाधान पंचायत ने करी। और मैंने फिर हर महीने में राशन वितरण हो रहा है।
क्या बात है, तो ये
जिस
सारा
तरह
आपकी कोशिशों से हुआ है?
जी, जिस तरह से हमने आज तक सबसे साथ मिलकर हर समस्या का समाधान किया है, उसी तरह से हम सेवा मंदिर के सहायक से आगे की मिलकर विकास कार्य में करते आएंगे।
जी, सोनिया पारगी ने एक मिसाल इस बात की कायम की है कि कई बार महिलाएं किसी भी मुद्दे को लेकर, चाहे वो सामाजिक हो या पारिवारिक हो, अगर कहीं शिकायत करने जाती हैं और सुनवाई नहीं होती, पहले तो जाती ही नहीं है ये सोच कर कि सुनवाई नहीं होगी, और अगर जाती भी हैं और एक आध जगह सुनवाई नहीं होती तो हार मानकर बैठ जाती हैं। लेकिन इन्होंने मिसाल कायम की है कि हारना नहीं है, एक जगह ना आपकी बात सुनी जाए तो आगे जाइए, उसके आगे जाइए, जब तक आपकी बात को सुना ना जाए और आपकी समस्या का समाधान ना किया जाए। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सोनिया पारगी जी, इतना अच्छा काम आप करती रहिए एंड ऑल द बेस्ट। बहुत शुभकामनाएं आगे के कामों के लिए।
धन्यवाद।
चलिए, तो अब राजस्थान के बाद चलते हैं गुजरात और स्वागत करते हैं अपनी अगली अचीवर हंसाबेन का, जो कि एक ग्राम रक्षक दल की सदस्य भी हैं। हंसाबेन, केम छो?
હું મજામાં, તમે કેમ છો? નમસ્તે।
नमस्ते। हंसाबेन, आप ग्राम रक्षक दल की सदस्य हैं। एक तो क्या आपकी ड्यूटी होती है इसमें, क्या आपका रूटीन रहता है, और जब आपने ये जिम्मेदारी ली तो क्या-क्या मुश्किलों का सामना करना पड़ा?
एक तो हर रोज पुलिस स्टेशन में जाना होता है, पुलिस कांस्टेबल के साथ रहकर उनका बताया हुआ काम करना पड़ता है। पुलिस स्टेशन में जो क्राइम हुआ हो, वो पुलिस कांस्टेबल के साथ रहकर उनकी छानबीन करनी पड़ती है। और बाहर सरकारी कार्यक्रम हो तो वहाँ पे बंदोबस्त में भी जाना पड़ता है। और उस दौरान जो चुनौतियों का सामना करना पड़ा, बहुत सारी मुश्किलें हुई। जैसे कि गांव में कहते हैं कि मानते हैं कि महिलाएं ऐसी नौकरी नहीं करती। ससुराल में रहकर ये जो वर्दी पहनकर निकलती हूँ ऑफिस जाने के लिए, तो लोग मुझे ताना मारते हैं। गांव से 3 किलोमीटर दूर मेन रोड तक जाने के लिए मुझे विधवा होने के कारण कोई गाड़ी पे नहीं बिठाता और मुझे ना पैदल जाना पड़ता है।
आपने विधवा होने का जिक्र किया हंसाबेन, जब आपके पति का निधन हुआ, आप बहुत अकेली भी हो गई थी और बहुत असहाय भी हो गई थी। ये और आज अगर हम बात करें, आपको हम इस यूनिफॉर्म में देख रहे हैं, तो जिंदगी कितनी बदल गई हंसाबेन?
मेरे पति के मृत्यु के बाद मेरे बच्चे का भरण पोषण और उनका लिया हुआ कर्जा उतारने के लिए मुझे दिन रात मजदूरी करनी पड़ी थी। जब मैं अपोलो टायर फाउंडेशन के में जुड़ने के बाद मैं सखी मंडल की प्रमुख हुई और सखी मंडल एवं रोजगार लक्षी तालीम ली। फिर मैंने मेरे गांव में खखरा यूनिट शुरू किया। फिर उसके बाद मैंने जीआरडी में नौकरी शुरू की और अब मैं बैंक में और मीटिंग में भी जाती हूँ। पहले मेरा घर 1 रूम का था, फिर बाद में मेरा घर 2 रूम का मैंने पक्का बनाया अभी।
क्या बात है।
जब मेरा पति जीवित था तब मेरी जमीन सारी गिरवी रखी हुई थी। मैंने मंडल में से लोन लेकर और मेरे जीआरडी की सैलरी में से पैसा बचा के मैंने 7 बीघा जमीन छुड़वाई और मैंने 2 जोड़ी बुट्टी और 1 जोड़ी पायल भी ली।
अरे वाह।
अब सारे जो सामाजिक प्रसंग होते हैं उनमें मैं भाग भी ले सकती हूँ।
क्या बात है। और देखिए, कितने लोगों ने तरह तरह की बातें बनाई इनकी यूनिफॉर्म को लेकर या काम पर जाने को लेकर, लेकिन किसी की भी बात की परवाह नहीं की हंसाबेन ने, और ग्राम पंचायत कमेटी में भी इन्हें अपॉइंट किया गया। हंसाबेन, गांव की औरतों के लिए, महिलाओं के लिए कितना जरूरी होता है कि ग्राम पंचायत में, उसकी योजनाओं में, उसके कामों में इन्वॉल्व रहें?
जैसे ग्राम सभा में महिलाओं की भागीदारी बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि महिलाएं और गांव के दूसरे प्रश्नों का वो जो निवारण है वो भी ला सकते हैं।
तो जैसे अपनी समस्याओं का निवारण किया है हंसा बेन ने, और आज बहुत सारी दूसरी महिलाओं के लिए एक प्रेरणा का स्रोत भी बनी है। पति के निधन के बाद जैसे अभी हमने सुना कि बहुत सारी दिक्कतें थी घर में, लेकिन वो सारी दिक्कतों को उन्होंने ठीक कर लिया है और आज एक बहुत बेहतर जिंदगी जी रही हैं। हंसा बेन, आप तो बिल्कुल मिसाल बन गई हैं और बहुत सारी और दूसरी औरतों को इंस्पायर कर रही होंगी। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
थैंक यू।
वॉचिंग दिस, आपको लग रहा होगा कि ये सारी अचीवर्स जो हैं, इनकी हर एक की कहानी से हमारे पास सीखने के लिए बहुत कुछ है। There's something different yet relatable for all of us to learn from them. And now it's time to welcome my next achiever. Her name is Sangeeta Wagmare. She comes from Pune, Maharashtra, and she runs a dairy farm. Sangeeta, कसा काय? स्वागत है आपका.
अच्छा आहे. तुमचं कसं काय?
खूप छान. संगीता, अपने डेयरी फार्म के बारे में हमें बताएं. कितना बड़ा फार्म है आपका? कितने मवेशी आपने पाले हुए हैं?
सध्या आमच्याकडे शेतीत 50 फूट लांबीचा व 80 फूट रुंदीचा मुक्त संचालित विकसित गोठा केलेला आहे. त्यामध्ये 9 संचालित दुधाच्या दुभत्या गाय आहेत. त्या दररोज 60 लिटर दूध देत असून आम्हाला महिन्याला 35,000 निव्वळ नफा भेटतो. वाढचालीसाठी गोठ्याचे अधिक नियोजन वाढ करण्याची माझी प्रगती आहे. त्यातून मग अपोलो टायर व या नियमित मार्गदर्शन सेवा दिल्यामुळे हे सक्सेस झालेले आहे.
क्या बात है. अपोलो टायर्स फाउंडेशन की ट्रेनिंग का आपने जिक्र किया, तो आपके काम में कितनी मदद, किस तरह से मदद मिली है अपोलो टायर्स फाउंडेशन की ट्रेनिंग से?
अपोलो टायर फाउंडेशन कंपनीने मका, बाजरी, परत हायब्रेड, निमिलेन, गवात यासारख्या चाऱ्याची माहिती दिली. हा चारा बारमाही कसा वाढवायचा, डेअरीच्या व्यवस्थाने हिरवा चारा बारमाही कसा राखायचा हे मदत केली. मग मार्गदर्शनाने अपोलो टायर फाउंडेशन कंपनीने आपल्याला जी नियमित माहिती दिली ते प्रशिक्षण तसेच इतर सेवा घरी पोहोचत झाली. त्यामुळे आमचे दुधाचे उत्पादन वाढले. मग अपोलो टायर कंपनीचे मी आभार आहे.
क्या बात है. संगीता, 5 साल पहले आपकी जिंदगी और आज कितना बदलाव आ गया है, बताइए.
5 वर्षापूर्वी आमच्याकडे 2 गाया होत्या. ते शेती जिरायती होती. राहण्याला घर नव्हते. गुरांच्या चाऱ्याला ट्रॅक्टर नव्हता. 4 चाकी गाडी नव्हती. मुलांचे शिक्षण व लग्न ह्या सगळे हे नव्हतं. गरीब परिस्थिती होती. मग अपोलो टायर कंपनीने आम्हाला मार्गदर्शन केले. मग मुक्त गोठा संचालक दिला. तिथून मग 4-9 संकरित दुधाच्या गाया आम्ही वाढवल्या. त्या दररोज 60 लिटर दूध देतात. ते निव्वळ महिन्याला नफा 35,000 भेटतो. त्यातून मग सुधारणा झाली. गुरांना ट्रॅक्टर घेतला. वाहनासाठी शेतीला ठिबक व पाण्याचे 2 बोर विहिरी घेतल्या. शेतीत नियमित पाणी राहायला लागलं. मग यंदा अपोलो टायर कंपनीने सर्व दिल्यामुळे आमच्या कुटुंबाची खूप व्यवस्था झाली. आम्हाला फिरायला आम्ही 4 चाकी गाडी ही घेतली. मग अपोला टायर कंपनीची मी आभारी आहे व इथून पुढं ते 4 महिलांना मी सांगन. मग अपोला टायर कंपनीचे आभारी व धन्यवाद.
तो 5 साल में अपोलो टायर्स फाउंडेशन से जो ट्रेनिंग मिली है उसने संगीता की जिंदगी बहुत बदल दी है. गरीबी भी देखी इन्होंने और सिर्फ 2 गायें थी इनके पास. इनका डेयरी फार्म अब बहुत बड़ा हो गया है और जिंदगी में बहुत खुशहाली आ गई है. आगे की आपकी जिंदगी के लिए भी बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं संगीता जी. शुक्रिया.
धन्यवाद.
और ऐसी ही है हमारी अगली अचीवर उड़ीसा से बबीता मोहंता. बबीता बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. वेलकम.
नमस्कार.
बबीता, आपने प्रदान टीम को ज्वाइन किया था 2015 में और तब से लेकर अब तक बहुत सारे आपने काम किए हैं, लीडरशिप रोल्स निभाए हैं, अवार्ड जीते हैं. बहुत ही, अगर मैं कहूँ, एम्पावरमेंट में बड़ी एग्जेम्पलरी जर्नी आपकी रही है. इस सफर में सबसे बड़ी सीख आपके लिए क्या रही और बिगेस्ट लर्निंग?
जेंडर ट्रेनिंग पर मो प्रति होतिबा अन्याय अत्याचार मो सहित काहेकि होउछि मो निजे भल भाबरे बुझी पारिथिली. मो घर लोक समाज आगरे किपरि आगो को प्रस्तुत होउथिली. एही ज्ञान मो भितरे थिबा आत्मशक्ति को नै एहा विरुद्ध रे घर ठारू आरंभ करी अन्य महिला मान को मध्य शामिल करथिली. एही समय रे मो भितरे मोर हृदयंगम होइथिला कि महिला माने काहेकि आर्थिक स्तर रे स्वाधीन हेले निज गोड़े निजे छिड़ा हेले सेमानकर मध्य आहुरी आत्मविश्वास बढ़िबो. सेथिपई एही ज्ञान को महिला मानकर जीविका उपरे ज्ञान कौशल बढ़ाइबा सहित जीविका जनित निष्पत्ति उपरे कार्य आरंभ करथिली.
बबीता, आपके अगर क्षेत्र की, इलाके की बात करें, चूंकि आप बहुत काम कर रही हैं उस तरफ, बच्चियों के लिए, महिलाओं के लिए सबसे बड़े जेंडर इश्यूज, चैलेंजेस क्या क्या हैं?
चारिरे थिला जेमिति कम बयस रे बाहाघर, निष्पत्ति नेबार क्षमता नाही, निजर परिचय नाही और निज नारे किछि संपत्ति नहीं.
मतलब अपने फैसले भी नहीं ले सकती हैं, कोई पहचान नहीं है. तो मुझे लगता है एक लंबा संघर्ष इस क्षेत्र की महिलाओं के लिए, बच्चियों के लिए भी हम सबको मिलकर करना होगा और आप तो कर ही रही हैं. बबीता, आज से 5 साल बाद आप अपने आप को कहाँ देखती हैं, क्योंकि अभी आपकी उम्र काफी कम है और बहुत काम आप कर रही हैं. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
आजिका दिन रे मु 600 महिला सहित काम करूची. आगो को 5 वर्ष भितर भाबुची 20,000 महिला सहित आर्थिक सामाजिक स्तर रे मो परी से माने हेइथिबे. सेकेंड रे मु एबे 2टा ब्लॉक रे कार्य करी आसुची. आगो को पूरा केउंझर जिल्ला रे निजर परिचय सृष्टि करि पारिबी. आ 3 नंबर रे लाइवलीहुड जेंडर एवं इंस्टीट्यूट क्षेत्र रे निजको गोटे साइंटिस्ट भाव रे निजको देखिबा पई चाहूची. 4 नंबर रे 10th पर मो पाठ छाड़ी देइथिली. आजिका दिन रे निज गोटे रे निजे छिड़ा हेइची आ मो पाठ को कंप्लीट करि पारुची. आ अन्य महिला मान को एवं झियो मान को एतिकी प्रेरणा देबी तो तांको भी केमते पाठ पढिबे, आगो को पढिबे, ता पई काम करिबे. 5 नंबर महिला मानकर हक अधिकार पई संगठन रो आवश्यकता को कथा भी एवं तांको संगठन रे मिसेबे. एतिकी मोर सपना अछि.
सही मायने में महिला सशक्तिकरण, जैसा हम हमेशा कहते हैं, कि तभी संभव है जब जो महिलाएं एम्पावर्ड हो चुकी हैं वो दूसरी महिलाओं का हाथ थामे और उन्हें भी आगे बढ़ने में मदद करें. और बिल्कुल वही काम कर रही हैं बबीता अपने क्षेत्र की महिलाओं के लिए. और आप इसी तरह से बहुत सारी महिलाओं को, जैसे आपने कहा कि अभी 600 महिलाओं के लिए आपने काम किया है, आप 20,000 महिलाओं के लिए काम करना चाहती हैं. मैं तो कहूंगी आप लाखों महिलाओं को आगे बढ़ाने का एक जरिया बने. बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं बबीता जी.
थैंक यू.
And now, last but not the least, let me welcome our next achiever of this session. Her name is सुखिया बाई तुमड़ाम. ये बैतूल मध्य प्रदेश की रहने वाली हैं और महिला किसानों के लिए काम करती हैं. सुखिया बाई, बहुत बहुत स्वागत है.
धन्यवाद.
सुखिया बाई, सबसे पहले मैं चाहूंगी जिस प्रोजेक्ट में आप लगी हुई हैं, अपने काम के बारे में हमें और बताइए.
मेरा प्रोजेक्ट का उद्देश्य महिला किसानों को उन्नत तरीका से खेती सिखाना है, जिससे वो अच्छी उत्पादकता कम लागत लगाकर हासिल कर पाए, जिससे उनके परिवार की आमदनी बढ़े। इसी प्रकार से समाज में बाइयों की पहचान किसान के रूप में बनने में मदद मिलेगी।
जी वाकई हम हर तरफ देखते हैं खेतों में बहुत महिलाएं काम कर रही हैं, लेकिन किसान का दर्जा मिलते हम उन्हें कम ही देखते हैं। सुखिया भाई, आपके जो क्षेत्र में महिला किसानों के सामने क्या-क्या चुनौतियां हैं?
हर महिला किसान खेती से ज्यादा आमदनी कमाना चाहती है, लेकिन कुछ ऐसी समस्या है खासकर हमारे क्षेत्र की आदिवासी महिला के लिए। जैसे पहला है, हमारे क्षेत्र में केवल 20% किसान के पास सिंचाई का व्यवस्था है। दूसरा, अच्छे उत्पादन वाले बीज के बारे में जागरूकता और उस तक पहुंच पाना। और तीसरा है, जो गांव जनपद या जिले से ज्यादा दूर है उनके यहाँ समस्या और भी गंभीर है। और अगला है, हर जगह की तरह हमारे क्षेत्र में भी जेंडर भेदभाव बहुत अधिक है और महिलाओं का निर्णय लेने का हक बहुत कम है। और अगला है, सरकार और विभाग भी केवल भैया को ही किसान मानते हैं, जैसे कि हर एक प्रकार के अधिकार का लाभ उठाने का हक केवल भैया के नाम पर ही होता है। अगला है, खेत में भी जो यंत्र इस्तेमाल होते हैं वे भी महिलाओं के लिए संवेदनशील नहीं होता है और बाइयों को और भी ज्यादा कठिन परेशानियों को सहन करना पड़ता है।
जी लेकिन मुझे यकीन है कि जिस तरह से आप बाहर निकल कर इतना काम कर रही हैं खेती के लिए और किसानों के लिए, तो आप बहुत सारी महिलाओं के खिलाफ जो भेदभाव हो रहा है उसको एक दिन खत्म कर पाएंगी। सुखिया भाई, आपने अपनी निजी जीवन में बहुत गरीबी भी देखी है और इतना सब काम करके उससे निकल के आज आप पंचायत की सदस्य भी हैं। तो आपको क्या लगता है, चाहे पंचायतें हों या हमारी सरकारें हों, ये महिलाओं की गरीबी दूर करने में किस तरह से अहम भूमिका निभा सकती हैं?
मैंने अपनी जिंदगी में बहुत कठिन दिनों को देखा है, जब हम कई दिन बिना तेल के खाना खाते थे और कभी कभी पड़ोसियों से भी लेते थे। प्रधान ने हम सब इस तरह के बाइयों को साथ में जोड़ा और फिर हम सब ने इसे बदलने का सोचना शुरू कर दिया। और आज अगर मैं देखती हूँ तो हमारे क्षेत्र में महिला किसानों के लिए सिंचाई के साधन बनाना सबसे जरूरी है। और अगला है, किसानों को व्यवसाय वाली फसल लगाने के लिए जागरूकता फैलाना। और जब तक किसान सीख न जाए तब तक सरकार इन फसलों में होने वाले रिस्क को कम करने के लिए कदम उठाने चाहिए। और अगला है, महिला किसान छवि किसान के रूप में मजबूत हो पाए, इसके लिए कदम उठाने होंगे, जिससे समाज में बाइयों का उनके द्वारा खेती में योगदान को पहचान मिल पाए। और अगला है, खेती करने के लिए महिलाओं के प्रति संवेदनशील उपकरण को बढ़ावा देना, उपलब्धता करवाना और उसमें मदद करना और उनका इस्तेमाल करना।
जी, बहुत सारे तरीके हैं, जहाँ चाहा वहाँ राह, और हम सब मिलकर समाज के लोग भी महिलाओं को उनकी गरीबी से, पूरे परिवारों को बल्कि गरीबी से बाहर निकालने की कोशिश कर सकते हैं। और सुखिया भाई, सबसे बड़ी बात है, आप बहुत सारी और महिलाओं के लिए मिसाल बन रही हैं अपने इलाके में, अपने गांव में। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और बहुत बहुत बधाई आपको।
थैंक यू।
You see, it's very important to mention something here. We are meeting and talking to only 8 achievers, but we all can very well imagine the number of women who are being inspired by each of these 8 achievers. इनमें से हर महिला, हजारों और महिलाओं को प्रेरणा दे रही होंगी, मोटिवेट कर रही होंगी कि अगर ये कुछ हासिल कर सकती हैं अपनी तमाम मुश्किल परिस्थितियों से बाहर निकलकर, तो हर महिला ये काम कर सकती है. And since we've all felt so inspired by our achievers, our change agents today with their stories and with their grit and determination, it's only fair that we get a picture with them. I request all the 8 change agents and Rinika from Apollo Tyres Foundation to come together for a group picture. Wonderful. May we cherish these memories and these stories with us forever. All these stories, each one of them are inspirational, and I would really like to congratulate the NGO partners working at the grassroots level in bringing the changes so desired. And my compliments to Apollo Tyres Foundation once again. Wishing you all a happy International Women's Day, but at the same time, let's work towards creating a world where Women's Day is no longer needed. Bye-bye. Take care.
Wow, that was indeed a very delightful session, and nice to hear Richa's Anirudh's voice as well. It was nice to have Richa Anirudh with us. Thank you, Richa, and thanks to all the 8 change agents who have come across the country to participate in this wonderful occasion. As Richa shared in the start of the session about the quiz, right? So let's take a small quiz, which will have 2 questions pop up on the screen. You will have next 5 minutes of your time to answers. The audience are requested to shoot their answers in the chat box. Question 1, Janaki could be nicknamed the Nurturer because A, B, C, D have 4 points. Second question, how did Hansaben demonstrate her strength? For that also you have the multiple choices. You have 5 minutes of time to post your answers, and the winners will get a wonderful gift. Meanwhile, let's move on to session 4. We have seen what the 8 change agents of 2021 are engaged in. Now it's time to rewind ourselves of our women beneficiaries of 2019 and 2020. The 16 women from across the nation were felicitated in the first 2 editions and continue to go the distance after their recognition in Eknaam. Here we go. Story number 1. Mini Joshi of Airapuram, Kerala is our first change agent of Eknaam 2019. After Eknaam, she expanded the unit and increased business profit by 20%. She's a pineapple lady whom Rinika was talking about during the panel discussion. Story 2. Saraswati Ben Chauhan from Baroda, Gujarat, a second change agent of Eknaam 2019. After Eknaam, she motivated other women to take up income generation activities and also received an award from the district administration. Story 3. Rupali Yogesh Bandal, Pune, Maharashtra, a third change agent of Eknaam 2019. After Eknaam, she expanded her business and motivated families to take up similar work in a community. Story 4. Sulekha from Kottayam, Kerala, a fourth change agent of Eknaam 2019. After Eknaam, she strengthened her honey processing unit, achieved FSSC 22,000 certification, and got into online sales as well. Story 5. Varsha Ben, Baroda, Gujarat, a fifth change agent of 2019. After Eknaam, she started her own tailoring classes and received an award from the district collector. Now she's a professional tailor. Story 6. Pushpa from Chennai, Tamil Nadu, a sixth change agent of Eknaam 2019. After Eknaam, she got herself trained on scientific waste management and wealth out of waste. Pushpa and her family is now having hygienic and safe access to toilet as well. She also started a small business after getting inspired from other Eknaam beneficiaries, which is a strong evidence of cross-learning. Story 7, Rekha from Pune, Maharashtra, our 7th change agent of Eknam 2019. After Eknam, she strengthened her poultry business and increased her income by 23%. And she has also motivated and trained 10 other families to start poultry business. Story 8, Ramila Parmar, Baroda, Gujarat, our 8th change agent of Eknam 2019. After Eknam, she expanded her farming work, practiced full-fledged organic farming. She is now a commercial vendor and a master trainer as well. Now we move on to the next 8 change agents of 2nd edition for the year 2020. Story 1, Sati Rajan of Airapuram, Kerala, is our first change agent of Eknam 2020. After Eknam, she started a poultry farm along with fisheries. She has also become a master trainer and become the secretary of Kudumbashree unit. Story 2, Lakshmi of Chennai, Tamil Nadu, a 2nd change agent of Eknam 2020. After Eknam, she started a small business with an investment from a savings which produces consistent monthly income. This idea came up during her interaction with other Eknam beneficiaries. She has the confidence to stand the post of ward member in the upcoming elections as well, which is another clear evidence of leadership and empowerment. Story 3, Geeta Ben Parmar, Baroda, Gujarat, a 3rd change agent of Eknam 2020. After Eknam, she promoted organic farming in her community, linked more than 300 women with various government schemes, and now she heads a self-help group. Story 4, Meena Dasgude, Pune, Maharashtra, a 4th change agent of Eknam 2020. After Eknam, despite the challenges during lockdown, she was able to sustain with the income earned from the skills trained by Apollo Tyres Foundation. She expanded her tailoring business by increasing her working hours. Story 5, Sija from Kottayam, Kerala, a 5th change agent of Eknam 2020. After Eknam, she turned COVID-19 crisis into opportunity by making masks and PPE kit during the lockdown, and she also inspired other women to involve in it. She made a good profit of over 5 lakhs during the lockdown period. Commendable work. Story 6, Parubai Walke, Pune, Maharashtra, our 6th change agent of Eknam 2020. After Eknam, she was provided training on backyard poultry. However, with birds flu, her business didn't do well. She managed to overcome all the hurdles with confidence she had built up, and now she's a role model in her community. Special kudos to her. Parubai. Story 7, Geeta Ben Parmar of Baroda, Gujarat, a 7th change agent of Eknam 20. After Eknam, she started various small income businesses, enhanced her knowledge on organic farming, and inspired over 50 other women to implement organic farming, who is now an expert in organic farming. We have come to the last change agent, Kiran Gadave, Pune, Maharashtra, our 8th change agent of Eknam 2020. After Eknam, she started bulk production of cloth masks during the lockdown and earned a profit of 1 lakh, empowered other women by providing opportunities as well, who is now an established entrepreneur and a master trainer. Apollo Tyres Foundation is proud to support these 16 women and will continue to engage more women to reach optimum heights. These are the moments of joy for us, and we are delighted to celebrate Women's Day. We are very much on time and completed the 4 sessions, and we move on to the last session of the day, event closing ceremony. Before that, we have 2 questions which were posted a few minutes back. Hope all the questions are there in the chat boxes, and hopefully Shivani is coordinating on that. And without any further ado, I request Rinika Grover, the head of CSR and Sustainability Apollo Tyres Limited, to announce the quiz winners and deliver the closing remarks. Over to you, Rinika.
Thanks, Prithvi. I hope I'm audible. Thank you.
Yeah, you're audible. Go ahead.
Okay, great. So I'd like to announce the winner. It's on first come first basis. It is Miss Depriya Ghosh. Congratulations to yourself for winning the quiz. And if you could please share your email address with us as well, so that we could have a hamper sent to yourself as a token from our side. Many congratulations to you once again. And yeah, that's we're almost towards the end of yet another stellar Ek Naam campaign 2021. On behalf of Apollo Tyres Foundation, I'll have a list of thank yous to present. I start with a real heartwarming thank you to His Excellency Mr. Emmanuel Lenoir, Ambassador of France to India, for his opening remarks. We really value our partnership with the French Institute of India, and specifically going into the second year for us. Thank you to the French Institute team as well. We've actually really liked to work with yourselves in the second year. A heartwarming thank you to President and Chief Business Officer, Mr. Sunam Sarkar at Apollo Tyres, who has always stood by us. He strongly believes in this program and its outcomes, and that's the reason this program has grown multifolds. Thank you so much to yourself for being a part of this program and always encouraging us to take this journey forward. Thank you to all the panelists, Jyotsna Beliappa, Vishal Bhardwaj, and Supriya Singh. I know in spite of your busy schedules, you've managed to contribute a significant amount of time to Ek Naam. It's really heartwarming to see you be a part of the panel. There are lots of takeaways from the panel, but the one that really stuck in my mind, which Vishal said, was that men could be confident leaders, but women are competitive leaders. Women are competent leaders. So that's something just stuck in my head. Thank you to all the panelists for their contributions. I would also like to thank the 8 change agents, without whom this event wouldn't have been possible at all, because you are the core, you're the essence of this program. Thank you so much. And a pleasure to have Richa Anirudh moderate this session so candidly, with absolute, flowing of questions with the 8 change agents. Thank you to the change agents and Richa for having, for attending this event and making it so successful. Thank you to our partner CSR Box, who ensured that the representation from the grassroots level NGOs was there. And a heartwarming thank you to Keystone Foundation, Seva Mandir, and Pradhan for having the 4 beneficiaries or the 4 change agents in the pool of 8. It's great work to see you guys come and join hands with the Apollo Tyres Foundation. They're exemplary beneficiaries, and now obviously the results show over here. A warm gratitude to all the participants attending this event. And last but not the least is the Apollo Tyres Foundation team and Events Craft team for stitching up this event and working during the wee hours of morning. Without you, it wouldn't have been possible. And we all know that all the hard work now that we've been working and you guys have put together has actually culminated into a beautiful program such as this. Before I leave, I have a quote from an anonymous writer that just tugs at the heartstring, and words are really imprinted in my head. Of course, these are not mine. So I just, for people, it's just Hindi, so I've just kind of just give those lines. It goes along saying, "Seediyan unhe mubarak ho, jinhe chhat tak jana hai. सीढ़ियां उन्हें मुबारक हो जिन्हें छत तक जाना है, मेरी मंजिल तो आसमान है, मुझे अपना रास्ता खुद बनाना है." Ladies, you've proved that you can do this. You're unstoppable, be it COVID, be it anything. The work continues, it's uninterrupted. Let's continue our journey and go the distance. Until the next Ek Naam 2022, I just thank you again for attending this event, and a goodbye from all of us at Apollo Tyres Foundation. Stay safe, get yourself vaccinated, and just keep the distance. Thank you so much, and all the best.
Thank you. Thanks to all, and signing off. Have a great day.